everybody, this is Sherry at djsundry.blogspot.com, and I have a humongous mess you should see around me. No, you shouldn't. It's really embarrassing. But I have stuff everywhere because I've been cranking out the project. So this is a fun Christmas tag swap for Craft Happens over at crafthappens.ning.com, and I just wanted to share with you what I'm doing, and I've done some of the prep work, and so let me just show you what we used first. Now, I did pull out these craft tags from Ink Essentials by Ranger, and these are the number 8 size manila tags, and you won't even see them, although I've made gorgeous tags just on the manila color before. But this time it will be completely covered. But the reason I chose to use it is I wanted that strong core base on in my tag because I'm putting some extra weight and stuff on it. So we have that. Set that aside. I have scraps of paper is what I'm using. Now, you won't see this one in the video, but I'll show it towards the end, the tag I made with this, because I had this blue snowflakey material, and I'm using, I believe it's from Mixing Christmas Papers by Hot Off the Press, which is a really super old stack. I don't even know if it's available anymore. It's one I've had for years. But I had some scraps, so 2 of the 5 tags that I made are out of this paper. This is also by Hot Off the Press. This is the bottom half of a 12 by 12 sheet, and you won't even see any of this stuff. I basically wanted it for the blue and the it's almost like a sponged background there, and that's really what I wanted it for. And this is called BJ's Snowman, and this is also from Hot Off the Press. Again, this is an old one. I don't know if it's available, but I had a bunch of these left over from back in the days of my store. Then I'm using from K & Company these Grand Adhesions Dimensional Stickers by Tim Kofi, and this one is called the Christmas Embossed Snowflake. I showed these in a recent gift video. I think it was called Show and Tell, and these were some that I received from my secret pal at church. I'm just going to set that aside because I still need that one. I have this red line tape that I picked up at Michael's, I believe. Or Joann's or somewhere. I have the Studio G white pigment ink. Now, this is the first time I've used this ink, and it's perfect for this project. This is just some of that ink you can pick up at Walmart for 97 cents, and it's perfect for the subtleness that I want in this project. I used a little bit of Ice Spruce from Distress Ink. Set that aside because I'm done with that step. From 3 Girl Jam, of course, gotta throw in some 3 Girl Jam ribbon in there. I'm using the Sterling color, and that's from, it comes in the Sterling, which is like a really shimmery white, almost a subtle silver, and then the bundle that it comes in has Tuxedo, which is black. It's a beautiful bundle. Then I have these little bling things, and I don't know where I got these. They're not marked, and they were just in my stash, and I don't know which company. I've probably had it for a very long time. Probably, I'm going to guess Recollections, but that could be wrong. And these are the kind that are actually adhered together, so you cut off what you want. And then from Inkadinka-Doo, I'm using this snowflake set that I got from the Inkadinka-Doo. And then I'm also using this Tim Holtz, oops, it's upside down, but the Tim Holtz odds and ends set, and I'm using the Merry Christmas ticket. So, and then I'm also using these sparkle fibers. These are by, this one's called Snowdrift. These are by Clear Snap, I believe. And this is the first, I purchased these at, I think it was Scrapbooking Stills or Scrapbook Stills or something like that. And I wasn't quite sure what to do with them after I got them. I thought they were beautiful. I thought I was getting fibers like to run through tags and stuff, and that's not what they ended up being. So I've not really used them before, but I like the way they just add a little bit of subtleness to my tag. So now let's make the tag. Now I've already started the tag. Now on the back side, I just took some of my white cardstock. This is just some of my probably the Georgia Pacific or something that I get from Walmart, and I put that on the back, and the only thing I'm doing to finish off the back is I use the Ice Spruce Distress ink, and I just distressed around the edge. It's picking up some of the sparkle fibers that are, as you can see, they're all over my desk here, but that is something that I wanted to use Just, that's all I'm going to do to finish it. That way, if somebody wants to use it as a gift tag when they received it as a swap, they can use it as a gift tag and they don't have to worry. They can write their to and their from. If they want to use it as a bookmark or as a little mini card or something, they can write. There's plenty of room for them to write on. I just wanted it not to be manila. Then on the other side, you see this is that BJ snowman, and I've already adhered it down. So now we're ready to start decorating that. Now to start with, I'm going to take this Studio G, and I'm just going to distress around the edges. It reminds me of, it kind of finishes it off. Again, it's these subtle little things that makes the difference between a finished tag or any kind of project, a finished project and an unfinished looking project. And so I thought that would just add just that little bit of softness around the edge. So that's the first thing. Then the next thing that I want to do is I have my stamp here from that snowflake set from Inkadinkado. And honestly, you can barely see this on the finished tag. And that's okay with me. If I wanted it to really stand out, I could put white embossing powder over it. But again, I was going for that more subtle, softer effect. And so let's see, which way do I want to go? This way. So I just want to, I'm going to bring it more to the right side of the tag. And we're just going to stamp it down. And this is a pigment ink from them. And you can see it fairly well now. It will fade as it dries a little bit. And again, it's just that really subtle effect. And I have to tell you, my stamp is going to have to be cleaned with stamp cleaner because my normal baby white just isn't going to cut it there. Okay, then the next thing that I want to do, this is where my clear tape comes in. And this is the very next step. I want to cut a piece of my tape to fit across the bottom here, just like that. Now I'm hanging it over, and I may even still have to shut off the video because I don't know about you, but I found that sometimes it's very difficult on this red line tape to separate the plastic part from the adhesive itself. In fact, on one of the ones I did, I even kind of ripped my paper a little bit. And so what I used is I took this little, make sure it's good and stuck down. I took my little craft pick to see if I could separate it. And it's difficult, but it does eventually come. I use my fingernails, and the problem that I've had with it is what happens is it seems to bring up the tape itself as well as the, there we go. It brings up the tape itself as well as the red, and when it does that, it's because it's so strong and it sticks so well, what happens is it rips the paper. So that's what I'm trying to avoid here. So I'm just going to trim that off before I make a mess. So I've removed the top of that, and this is where the sparkles come in. Now I thought, because when I was looking it in, since it was called Snow Frost or Snowdrift, I thought that it would be white, and there is some whiteness to it, but there's also it's more clear than what I was really expecting, and I was pretty generous with it. And if it could all stay up like that, it would be really frosty and snow whitey. I think I'm making up words here. And I'm just patting it down, but you'll see that even though I pat it down pretty firmly, I want to completely cover that tape, but then when I turn it over and knock it off, you lose a lot of that whiteness, but you do still have that subtle bit of snow-like fill in there. Now I'm just going to carefully set that aside so I don't make a mess, because I will put that back in and save it for later, but let's just move on with our tag. So the next step that I want to do is I want to take one of these. Now, I debated about not using these because they were a little bit more gold tone than what some of my other things were, but the way they turned out, I think it was okay. So I've noticed here that some of these don't completely come through. So let me just pick those out. This whole back is adhesive here. And then between the layers, there's foam tape. Very pretty. So I'm just going to put that just like so. Now the tag that I use that Tim Holtz Merry Christmas Admit 1 tag, and then I just fussy cut around it, and I stamped that using the spruce again, the ice spruce distress ink. And the paper that I used had a bit of a texture in it, and so it's kind of smudgy because the paper was textured, but that's okay because I was going for that textured paper look anyway. And then what I do is I just want to slide this kind of between the layers underneath, and I don't care if it hangs off a little bit, I'm really okay with that. Just like that. So now we have our tag. Now the next component that I have here is I made another stick pin because I like stick pins. So what I did is these are just clear and blue. The pin itself is the one I had from Joann's, and it has a clear head. And then I had one of those clear, I have a clear bead right in the middle, and that is one that I got from Michael's in a great big pack. And then these blue are also from Michael's, from the bead. They're less expensive bead brand. And then what I did is I took a little piece of that 3-Girl Jam ribbon, and I just threaded it through the stick pin. It's not even attached. I mean, it's attached, but it's not glued down or anything. It's just kind of smooshed on there. And then I'm going to slip that behind. Again, I'm not going for any fancy smushed, any ribbon. I just wanted the extra ribbon there because when I got the blue against the blue, it didn't show quite as well as I thought it would. So then I want to hold that down I want to make sure that's really adhered down. And then we have the first part of our bottom part done. Now the next step, and we are almost done here, is I took a set of 3 of these little jewels. And I'm not sure, I think they're Recollections, but I can't be 100% positive. And what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to balance out the side. Even though the pin is longer, I'm just balancing it out with a little bit of bling there. And then across the top, just because I felt like it, there's really no rhyme or reason, but I decided to put just a little bit right across, whoops, hopefully straight, right across the top, just like that. Okay, so there's our tag. So now all we have to do is the hole. Now, I was going to do the traditional string it through and have stuff hanging off the top. And then I thought about adding different colors, but instead what I decided to do was I went back into my charm stash, and again, these are some charms that I picked up from eBay, and I had this snowflake, and this really, the whole tag was based off of this charm. I knew that I wanted to use this charm. I just wasn't sure how I was going to use it, and I tried to do it as part of the stick pin. I didn't like the way that looked. And so this is just what I settled on. So what I decided to do, rather than, if I wanted to, I could take a piece of jute or something, or another piece of ribbon and tie a bow there. But I decided instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie a bow right on top. So part of that bling on the top is going to be covered underneath my bow anyway, and I'm okay with that. And I'm just going then to go back and trim that off, just like so. And that is my finished tag. Again, it would make a pretty gift tag if you wanted it to be a gift tag, but it would make just a pretty bookmark or something as well. So there's my tag, and again, I'm entering this, or I'm sending this off for a swap over at crafthappens.ning.com. So thanks so much for stopping by today, and remember to take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.